How to write proposals faster. So the first tip to writing proposal faster and becoming a crackerjack proposal manager is to get cross-trained in all proposal disciplines. And by all proposal disciplines, I mean proposal management, for example. You need to get formal training in proposal management because that's not an admin type of job. And a lot of proposal managers, I just saw a survey recently, they get trained on the job. They really don't get formal training, or they get a class. But in reality, you need to constantly perfect your profession, and it changes every day, and there's lots to learn. But that's not enough. Capture should be another discipline that you master, especially WinThemes development and solution development, because you are responsible for content. So your two biggest jobs as a proposal manager are really leadership and content development. And essentially, it's really important that you know how to do it really well, how to facilitate the WinThemes development session, how to make sure that you come up with a list of action items resulting from that themes session, and then help develop the solution if you don't have one already received from your capture manager, which is often the case. So that's fairly common in the proposal profession, that you have to come up with it fairly quickly from scratch. Pricing. Price is the other most important proposal component other than the technical content, and if you don't influence that, how can you be instrumental in winning? So that's a key piece here. Proposal writing. You have to be a good writer. That goes without saying. A lot of proposal managers don't know how to write fast and well. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. Graphics. You have to be at least a graphic conceptualizer, if not a graphic designer. You know, perhaps not like a professional graphic designer that goes all out, but somebody who can do a good enough job if you're in a hurry or in a pinch. And editing, if you're not a good editor, you're going to be relying on outside editors. A lot of times proposal managers like to put their personal stamp on the whole proposal, and it makes the whole proposal better. And desktop publishing, you should know Word really well if this is your profession to work with documents. So when you're cross-trained, you can actually do a lot of things really well. For example, you don't want to overwhelm yourself by trying to do it all unless you're the only person there. However, you can go ahead and step in and fix in a pinch, in a crunch time when an expert is unreachable. You can fix things. You can do things also at the same time. You can, for example, write and edit at the same time. Not advisable, but you can do things correctly really well right away. Or you could go ahead and desktop publish and edit at the same time. So you cut out cycles of out of your proposal, and you can produce a fairly finished product when you know how to do all those things well. Not saying that you should do that all the time by yourself, but you should have that option. Another one is get help from the subject matter experts. So subject matter experts are the technical experts who know how to get the job done. So you should not be expected to be the one to come up with a solution and content unless you are an engineer or whatever, a software developer who is also a proposal manager. So unless you're the subject matter expert, you shouldn't be the one that is counted on to recycle some old content and call it into a solution. You really should, even though you're probably good at Googling things and developing, sewing something together out of the old content, your job is to make content more compelling. Your job is not to come up with the content. So don't let your leadership get away with not providing any resources to you. The proposals that win, more commonly than not, are relying on subject matter experts that are brilliant in what they do. So if your management, for example, is not wanting to pay people for their evenings or weekends with money or time off, and they're not willing to enforce that whole, like, this is part of your job, you really should be participating in the proposals in addition to your work on site with the customer, then you probably are not doing really well, like working for that company. Your win rate is going to go way down. You're not going to be as successful. So you want to make sure that you and your management are in lockstep winning those proposals and getting those SMEs on board. Number 3 is get training in speed writing. Yes, you can write faster. Most people actually write incorrectly. We just talked a little bit about that, but the process is pretty painful and long. People will write a sentence, they edit, they go back, then they realize they don't know something, they research, they come back, they correctly rewrite, then they get down on themselves and berate themselves, and they procrastinate because it's such an unpleasant process, and it goes on and on and on. Proposals could be a lot less painful if you knew exactly how to write well. We actually have a class on that, but if you are going to procrastinate and just insist on not taking classes and doing it, at least do it like a pro. We have a procrastination flowchart for proposals on our website for free. Go ahead and download that. When you know how to write well and you know the correct writing process, you'll be able to train your subject matter experts on how to write to save yourself time. If people on your team are trained on how to give you the material that you want, guess what? You're probably going to be sleeping a lot longer. Also, think pre-built. Pre-built processes, tools, and templates for your proposal management process. Have a tool set. Always come with a toolkit. Hey, you know, what do I use as a kickoff template every time? What do I use as a style guide every time? Ping team kickoff, ping team debrief. Same thing for the red team, and so on. So just make sure that you have things that are readily accessible, and you're not fishing into, like fishing in the recent proposal folders, and then you have old proposal content showing up in a meeting, and it's embarrassing. So I want to make sure that you are actually on top of things and you have nice, clean templates that you start with each time. Also, have easily modifiable graphics library. And by easily modifiable, I mean PowerPoint, unless you have access to Illustrator and you're a master of Illustrator. Have that library then of source files if you use Illustrator. But you can go ahead and create attractive graphics. You don't have to be a graphic designer from just good templates that are out there you can purchase, for example, and have that at your fingertips so your proposals are attractive. Also, use pre-built proposal template with preset styles. Make sure that your tables, for example, can be drawn on with a single click. You have table of contents already preset in the format that you like. The colors are there. The cover template is there. It's easy to use, and even the cut and paste default is set to unformatted text, essentially, so people don't import all kinds of other styles from other documents, and then it takes you hours to clean up all of that stuff. Now, use checklists for everything. That's number 5. Even pilots with thousands of flight hours use checklists for every stage of the flight. In fact, even before the flight and after the flight, they use a checklist. You think that they're really experienced professionals, but the stakes are really high. They deal with people's lives. They have a lot of responsibility. Well, guess what? As a proposal person, you have a lot of responsibility. The livelihood of your company, all the employees. Imagine all those people's salaries and their families. I mean, it's a tremendous responsibility. And you want to make sure that you eliminate mistakes. There are a couple of different types of checklists that I recommend. One of them we sell on our website, which is Proposal Manager's Essential Checklists. And this is kind of a short set of checklists, but they're very useful for key stages of proposal development, so that you kind of go through this and you go check, 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 check. I've done that. I've done this. So you minimize essentially the errors in any kind of omissions when you go, ooh, I wish I'd remembered that 2 days ago, but now it may be too late, or you're scrambling to recover. It just causes all kinds of stress. You avoid a lot of stress this way and eliminate mistakes. And then, of course, content development checklists, which prevent these kinds of mind-blowing sessions of brainstorming where people go on tangents, they wonder for hours, they talk, and then at the end of all of those brainstorming sessions, they're very expensive, by the way, from a business perspective to run, they don't have a lot of really ready proposal material that you can use. So I use checklists for management sections, for technical sections, whatever solutions you tend to offer, like if you offer help desks, for example, as what your company does, have a solution development checklist for a help desk, all the things you need to think through. If you do I don't know, management support, for example, or administrative services. Have a checklist for that. So anything that you do, you should have a checklist for your standard set of solutions. And combine decision-making roadmap with proven solutions and reminders. So, for example, you have done something really cool for a customer, add that to your checklist. Well, here's how we've done a program management office, and we made sure that our program manager was also the PM for one of the task orders. Well, that's a solution. So just use those different options as a list to go through and say, okay, is that appropriate to offer it on this program? And then it's a quick decision, right? So also, those checklists need to be updated after every proposal, and they're better than boilerplate, better than just cutting and pasting text, because yes, they're reusable, and you use all of this stuff that was great in the last proposals that you've done, but at the same time, they're totally tailored the way that you do things to this particular client, so it doesn't sound stale and stifled. So, finally, tip number 6 is get the right tools in place. And there's like a zillion productivity tools in the proposal world right now. On your phone, there are apps for everything. And in proposals, it's amazing. We're still working with rudimentary tools, and we're not using enough. One of them is mind mapping for brainstorming alone or in a group. You can do so many things with mind mapping, including proposal outlining, win themes development, organizing your thoughts for writing a section. So our recommended tools are XMind and MindJet, but there are others out there as well on the market. Collaboration Suite to automate administrative tasks. It saves you 30 to 40% of your time from doing routine things like version control. Use your SharePoint, use whatever platform. We use iMeet Central. So whatever platform is there that you have implemented in your company, make sure that everybody knows how to use it, everybody's trained, and this is something that you implement routinely on your proposals and standardize. Content library. You should have reusable proposal content, graphics, past performance, resumes, your standard plans, gold nuggets, all in one spot and not on different people's computers available to you. And finally, look into proposal development software. Why not? There's some interesting packages out there. Make sure that your proposal software does not distort your Word document formatting and actually plays well with Word, and you can make changes in the document after it's out of the software, and it doesn't make it all go haywire on you. And also, the software can automate fetching from your proposal library, so it can recommend different content to you. It also should save you time instead of causing headaches. So tools should, with some training, then make sure that they'll help you actually get better at what you do and develop proposals faster. So here's some different resources for you. Our Bid and Proposal Academy actually has Writing Persuasive Federal Proposals course for faster and better writing techniques and more persuasive writing. Take Advanced Capture Management course to get content development checklists. We actually have some sample ones that you can reuse or adapt for your use. Win Themes Development Workshop will help you develop persuasive win themes. And Proposal Manager's Essential Checklists are available as a standalone product on our website, ostglobalsolutions.com. So happy proposal development. Take care.